Hello, all of you vaingloriously wonderful people. I'm Brandon, and this is the Vapid Peyote, and I'm about to find out if it'll off-road. This is the second most voted for vehicle this week, coming in with 10 votes. You can vote for the vehicles that you want to see tested and wheel it off-road by clicking on the link in the description down below. So, this particular Vapid Peyote is the NPC modified version, or one of them anyway. You can get them from the 3 different gangs that you can find. But you can also get it in this lovely red color that comes with a unique worn red that you cannot obtain in Los Santos Customs. And the pearl is just a Torino red on top of it to give it just a little pop. But yeah, you cannot get this color in Los Santos Customs. I still really wish that the Peyote would get the lowrider treatment. Maybe one of these days it will. Who knows? But until it does, we just have to be happy with it in this form. I seriously doubt we'll ever see any other lowriders, honestly. But Peyote isn't really the fastest sports classics car in the game. In fact, it's fairly slow. It's a nice cruising around car, and that's about it. But at least it's competent. It has enough power to keep it moving forward. Maybe not with the greatest speed, but it does all right. One of the problems that you've already seen, though, is that it does lack a little bit of traction. And so the back end wants to get a little slippery now and then, even on some of this uphill bit. And there we go. It finally kicked down a gear and is continuing its climb. I was really worried that it was going to be like a lot of these cars would get to about here and stop. But no, it's going. It's very, very slowly. There's not a whole lot to say about the Peyote, quite honestly, which is going to make the next few minutes really difficult to find something to talk about. I mean, it's just a basic sports classics car. And we've seen... Look at that. It's not even strong enough to really kill a hiker. Oh, I think we finally got him. No, he lived. He told me to eat shit and die. I don't know how well it came through on the audio and the video, but that's what he said. On the power front, you can see that there's not enough to really cause a lot of wheel spin. In some places, the wheels do start spinning a little bit, but really with the way this thing's geared, it's usually not an issue at all. More than anything, it's a matter of just fluctuating the input of the accelerator to try to force the thing to downshift to keep it moving forward, because it's got to stay in those lower gears to be able to continue to climb. And that, on a lot of these older cars, can be a big problem, because they'll get bogged down in the higher gear and just not be able to put enough power down to the dirt to get moving. Got a lot of wheel spin going on there. Tires finally found a little bit of grip. I do love how the dust and convertibles, you can see it coming up through the car. Yeah, maybe in GTA 6 that won't be a thing, but whatever. It's a minor thing, and it's just nitpicking at this point. But we're continuing our climb. Obviously not going to hit the 3-minute mark with this car. No chance of that. Never thought it would happen. I think it'll be lucky if it gets to 4, to be honest. But, because it's still got a little ways to go. And with it having a kind of a longer wheelbase, it could have a little struggle climbing up the final bit of rocks. My God, it's a beautiful sunrise morning for this car. Really, once it gets in the sun, really shows off that beautiful, unique paint job that you can't get in Los Santos Customs. And that's why I have it. I have a lot of the rare NPC modified vehicles, honestly, just to collect, because they look nice. I like the colors that are on them. And of course, all the visual upgrades you see are as you found it. I don't change anything visually on the NPC modified cars that I find. The only thing I do to them is performance upgrades and armor and bulletproof tires. But visually, I leave them alone. I don't even put custom license plates on them. I just like them to be that nice little collector's item. Even though it does nothing to the value to not change it. But anyway. Backing up here so we can get some speed. To hopefully get up the side here. And there we go. A lot of wheel spin. But we are finally up in 4 minutes, 10 seconds. Will it off-road? Yeah, I mean, I almost gave it a yes, barely, but it didn't take too long, so we'll give it a yes. But that means we now have to take it for the controlled descent, where a couple other factors are going to come into play. It's not so much about power anymore as it is about traction, and not hitting the observation deck. But it's about traction, which we've already seen is a bit of an issue in this car. And it's also about braking, which the Peyote has better than okay brakes, but they're still not the best. They are better than some of the other cars that are kind of at the lower end of the off-road testing that we've seen. But it is a little bit difficult to get the speed shaved off without just absolutely locking up all four wheels. And of course you don't want to do that when you're going down the mountain, because then you lose your ability to control the car. The thing already has a traction liability with the back end wanting to swing around, so if you lock up the wheels, well, it's just going to spin. And that could be a problem. Ooh, went really wide there, got really close to the edge. So far, not too bad, but we're not all that far down yet either. Just doing my best to keep the speed off. You can see I'm just on the brakes almost constantly. Kind of up to this uneven bit. I handled it all right. A little unsteady, but not too bad. We've seen much worse. Of course, we've also seen a lot better. There's that traction coming in as it landed. It didn't have the grip to keep the back end in place. It kind of bounced off the rock and went a little sideways on me. I'm just going to try to keep the speed down on this run. Some cars I can really haul ass down the mountain. This is not one of them. Oh, hey, got another hiker. Did we get that one? I don't know. I think we got that one because he didn't shout any obscenities at me after. We managed to take out a hiker. So we're coming to the last really big jump here. This could be a make or break for a lot of vehicles. Getting a little sideways on it and not so easily to control in the air, but not a total disaster either. You can see I'm just fighting that back end to keep it behind me instead of it wanting to come around and trade places with the front end. So yeah, really, really bad problems with the, it's not really oversteer, it's just a traction problem. Though this car does suffer from oversteer. Coming around to our final little trail here, got a little squirrely. Next to the last big bend, past the tree of many crashes where we escaped without incident. Though I'm nearly about to go off the side there. Saved it. Saved it. That's the one thing about the Peyote is if you get off the power and then just kind of squeeze gently back on, you can usually get it back under control. Fairly easy. It's just not the easiest car to control in midair. But as we come around the last little curve here on the asphalt, we are down. 2 minutes, 57 seconds. Almost had an incident with a Mesa, but we avoided it. So back to the top of Mount Chiliad, where we shall fling this Vapid off the side of the mountain and see how much damage it can get here. I mean, really, it's just about seeing how much we can trash these cars on the down, or this damage descent. Ooh, big hit there. Kind of tangled in some trees right now. You can see just off in the distance on the mini-map a faint orange or yellow CEO. That is Vainglorious crew member Schvenz. I think I'm saying that right. Who I had the pleasure of actually spending about an hour yesterday in some races in GT Online. He's from the Netherlands, I believe, so the time zone difference means I don't get to play with him very often, but I was having a morning of uncreative, or being uninspired creatively. Just couldn't bring myself to create videos and just really needed to spend some time playing some video games. And Spins was there to go racing with me. I won't reveal the outcome. I'll let him choose to declare who was the winner if he decides to in the comments down below. But I have to hand it to the guy. So I was in a crew lobby. He joined the lobby. I didn't even realize he had joined, honestly. I just kind of suddenly was like, oh, wow, there's somebody in here with me. Got to give credit to the guy. He waited until after he saw me driving away at the very bottom of the mountain before he ever started typing anything in chat. And he was like, are you done recording? He saw where I was and just knew that I was recording a little bit off-road. So, dude, thanks. I appreciate that. But the Peyote does not appreciate going down this mountain. Look at it. It has taken one hell of a beating. Of course, this car's been in the game since its launch, so it does have a pretty detailed damage model. So the body panels can deform and all of that good stuff, unlike a lot of the newer cars that we see where they just scratch the paint no matter how many times you crash into things. And I like seeing the body damage when you have a collision. Still, it's not to GTA 4 levels, but it's still better than what we're getting with DLC cars today. Coming through our last little muddy bit here in the Peyote. Up around the wood pile, didn't manage to hit it this time, and we are down in 2 minutes, 22 seconds. Let's take a look at our damage. Of course, all the windows are gone, which is just a windshield. All the lights are gone. The hood, the right door, and the right fender, gone. Has some pretty significant body damage, and it does have bent wheels. But that brings us to our next vehicle. The Cheval Surge, as I cycle my headlights off and on. An electric car. It's been a while since we've had an electric car and wheel it off-road, so this will be a fun treat. And yes, this is my actual vehicle, and it came in with 12 votes. And don't forget to vote for the vehicles you want to see by clicking on the link in the description down below. I record every 3 weeks, so you may not see the cars you vote for right away, but you will see them eventually. I don't know if you noticed there off the line, but one of the characteristics of electric cars is they have a lot of torque, just instant power, full power instantly available. Which is, you know, like in the real world, why the Tesla has just insane acceleration and can just take it to some crazy, crazy numbers on like drag races. Back on the start line there, the way I always do the engine rev is to hold the handbrake and rev the engine. And yet the front wheels were spinning doing that. Normally you only get wheel spin if you hold the regular brakes and the accelerator down to do an engine rev. But this one was actually able to overpower its handbrake and was trying to lurch forward and spinning its wheels. One of the first times I think I've seen that in wheel it off-road testing. And pardon me while I take a drink of water. So this car is fully upgraded. I can't remember. I don't think it gets a transmission upgrade, though. I could be wrong on that. But it does still get an engine upgrade. Of course, I don't believe there's a turbo upgrade since it's an electric vehicle. But it's a lightweight little car. And I think, honestly, once you upgrade it, put a spoiler on it, put the skirts on it, and mess around with the bumpers, I think it makes a pretty decent looking little car. I don't have any complaints with it. You know, it was one of the cars that I see driving around a lot and never really thought much about it. And then I think it was Russ that plays in the live streams with us. He had one. It's like, you know, that actually turns into a not bad looking car once you upgrade the thing. So I finally picked one up. I have a garage that's filled with Chevals and DeClassies, basically Chevy in game, and all of my second character. And I thought it would make a nice addition to that garage. And, you know, it is doing all right in the climb. Granted, it's incredibly creepily quiet, but that's to be expected from an electric car. Just get a little bit of that electric motor whine. But other than that, tire noise, and that's all. You don't get a whole lot with these cars. So it's also difficult to hear how much I'm revving the engine and all of that to be able to tell where the accelerator is. And it makes it hard for me to remember exactly what was going on, because I recorded this car like 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago now. Not really sure. But as we continue to climb up, it's not going to hit the 3-minute mark, but I don't think it'll take 4 like the last car we just did. So not too bad. Very steady climb, I would say, up the hill. Not fast, not slow, but steady. It hasn't really struggled anywhere. Not anything significant anyway. It's got decent traction to hold it in place, but oh, it's lightweight despite having batteries. Caused it to flip there. Did I just really see a drivetrain and an exhaust manifold on an electric car? I think I did. Anyway, climbing up the side here, and a lot of wheel spin from those front tires, and yeah, it failed. Just a little too much torque from that electric motor caused a lot of wheel spin there. So I'm going to try to line it up a little bit better. Probably go ahead and back on down, in fact. I do love the light-up grill on this car, that no matter how much you damage this car, it still lights up. I think it's really cool. It's a nice little touch that they put on this car, honestly. I'd like to see more stuff like that. Not necessarily light up grills or anything, but just nice little touches like that on cars. Managed to hit the observation deck. Didn't phase the guy up there, though. But we are up. 3 minutes, 57 seconds. Will it off-road? Yep. Again, it almost got into the yes barely, but it did all right. So we'll give it a yes instead. But now we have to take it back down the mountain, which shouldn't be too much of a problem. I say that a little apprehensively because honestly I don't remember how it does. I edited this video several days ago, and I'm just recording the voiceover now. Actually, the day the video goes live. I'm way behind on video production right now. Had some temp work that came up that pulled me away from video creation unexpectedly, so I'm just way behind, which is kind of scary because there's DLC coming out the next week or two, and I like to have a week or two worth of videos done, like ready to upload when DLC launches. That way I can just focus on making DLC videos when it drops and getting those up quickly instead of having to worry about my regular series as well. So I'm going to be working my ass off this weekend. So, the Surge. Good brakes, as you can see right there. Nearly came to a dead stop. And a decent amount of traction. So I really don't foresee any problems here. We'll see what happens, but the two things that really matter on the downhill descent, this car has in spades. And it's an easy to drive little car. It really is. The only problem it ever has is due to being kind of lightweight. Right there we saw it bounces around a little bit. But I think if I keep the speed down, I can mitigate that quite a bit. Over the first jump, and that was the flattest and I probably think most elegant landing we've seen on that short jump in a long, long time. So good stuff coming from this car so far. You know, for a blob of an electric car, it does all right. Oh, got a little squirrely there. I probably had a little too much speed, and I was able to overcome the limits of the traction. Next big jump, a lot flatter, a lot nicer, much more composed, which that's what we like to see. Trying to shave off a little bit of speed there, and now over our big jump, a little sideways in the air, but I was able to get it back under control before it landed. And just, again, drama-free until there, where, again, I got a little too heavy on the brakes. Probably turned in a little too sharp, a little too much speed, and the back end did come around a bit. I mean, it has good traction. I didn't say it has perfect traction. It has good traction. The spoiler in the back does help quite a bit. We're coming down to the last little bit of dirt here. And learned from my mistake, didn't let the back end come around on me, shaved off the speed before coming around the corner. Of course, that means we're now going very slowly through this section here. But we're approaching the asphalt, and it's been a relatively uneventful controlled descent, which is like, that's what you want to see. You want it to be uneventful. You don't want there to be a lot of drama. And under the darkness of night, we are down in 2 minutes, 48 seconds. So let's take this one back to the top of Mount Chiliad and see how much damage we can do here. Again, those front wheels wanting to spin despite the handbrake being on. Like a lot of front-wheel drive vehicles, it kind of struggled to drag itself off of the ramp. Already lost a few lights there, so I heard a few windows pop as well, so already taking a bit of damage. Oh, that trunk looks like it's just wanting to come off. Well, it might survive. I think we just lost a bumper there. I couldn't quite tell what just came off. But it is shedding body panels. Oh, it was the hood that came off, okay. And, oh, God, look at it just getting beat to hell. Again, a car that's been in the game since its launch. So another car that we will actually get to see the body panels deform as they smash into trees and rocks and all that goodness on its way down. And it's already looking worse for the wear. Definitely. But it's pretty easy to keep it under control. Its lightweight does cause it to go flying like we just saw right there. But not too bad. When it does roll over, it shouldn't be too hard to get it to get back up on its wheels, though I gotta get it to stop before I can do that. There we go, and yep, right over. It did wind up losing its front bumper somewhere. I don't know when that came off. Gonna get turned around. And since there's a door open, I've got a lot of light inside the car. Managed to hit the boulder. See if we can thread the needle into the tunnel. And nope. We managed to smack the side of the tunnel. I'm always really proud of myself when I can manage to jump that and go right through the tunnel. No issues. It always makes me feel like a champ. The muddy bouncy bit here is doing what we would expect in a lighter weight car, kind of bouncing it around quite a bit. The traction wasn't an issue, it was just the bumpies that kind of got it. The bumpies, that is the official term for bumpy terrain. The bumpies. Up around the wood pile, and we are down. 2 minutes, 6 seconds, and let's take a look at the damage. Most of the lights are gone. All of the windows are gone. The hood, the front bumper, the right front door, and the right fender, if I can speak, are all gone. The doors, the trunk won't close. It has moderate body damage and bent wheels. Hey, guys, don't forget to go vote for the vehicles that you want to see in Will It Off-Road by clicking on the link in the description down below. And until the next video, I'm Brandon, reminding you to stay vainglorious.